Darren Robinson, you work in a high-profile headhunting company, Badenoch Clarkissa, and you're taking care of the Northern Europe activities in your business, in your company. So what would you say when we're talking about the future of recruiting business? How does the market has been changing lately? Is artificial intelligence really taking firm stand in the future of recruiting?
Well, I think at the moment it is a bit of speculation. It is a lot of talk. I think it's coming. What are we using today? We're starting to use more of the big data. We're starting to use more algorithms, both for not only psychometric assessing, but also cultural assessing, which is becoming more and more popular to support the accuracy of whether that individual that starts employment will be successful and fit into the organization.
This also, in my mind, arouses some kind of questions of moral kind. Can a machine really judge a man?
Yeah, it's a really good question. In fact, currently today, there are algorithms that can predict the behavior, they can predict the personality of individuals better than a person. In fact, there are some suggestions that the tests, or let's say the artificial intelligence or the algorithms, can predict a better understanding of that person's personality than their friends.
Have you already faced some kind of legality issues in your line of business? Because I think it's a tender subject nowadays.
Yeah, it is a tender subject, and I think this is going to keep the lawyers quite busy, because I think in some countries it's going to be more acceptable than others. I know in Finland, for example, there is a lot of controversy around how much information you can search on an individual before selecting them for employment. So I think that is something for the lawyers to work on. But right now, I think individuals are also a little bit anxious about what information is being used for their selection, and I think they're right to be nervous too.
Aamun haastiksessa on Badenoch sekä Clarkin korkean profiilin headhunting-yrityksen Pohjois-Euroopan vastaava, ja puhutaan keinoälyn käyttämisessä haastatteluissa ja ihmisten valitsemisessa tiettyyn työhön. Darren, let's talk about digital footprint. How do you use the info, or how does the machine use it to analyze the individual for a certain job?
Yeah, so I suppose when people are posting information or liking information or commenting on information on their networking sites, whether that be Facebook or LinkedIn, the algorithms can have a good understanding of the way people are communicating, the likes, the preferences, what people are sharing, even analysing the comments that they make to predict their personality and their likely behaviour. Now, of course, it isn't wholly accurate, but it is becoming more and more accurate. However, the more accurate it becomes, probably the less reliable the data will become, because people will realise that actually manipulating what they post, what they like, what they comment, could actually be advantageous for the future for them.
Tervetuloa takaisin BusinessFM:n studioon ja aamuhaastikseen. Tässä langan päässä on Darren Robinson, joka työskentelee korkean profiilin headhunter yrityksessä Badenoch sekä Clarkissa ja vastaa Pohjois-Euroopan liiketoiminnasta. Darren, let's talk about you. Before you were a soldier, so how did you end up in a totally different kind of career?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. Yeah, of course. I was in the military, and when I decided to leave the military, I actually, believe it or not, this was back in the 90s. I actually took a very simple psychometric test. So, in fact, the topic of understanding people and personalities was it was interesting, because, of course, that was the first thing I ever did. It was at a career centre within the army careers, and I'd made the decision to leave. I took a psychometric test. Interestingly, of course, the first occupation that was suitable to my personality based on the questions was the military. So I recognised it was relatively accurate. The second part was actually within the sales or commercial industry. And that's when I started applying for roles in sales organizations. And I applied to a recruitment firm that had a role within sales. And that recruitment firm, the recruiter that I met, asked me a question, which today has taken me to where I am today, which was, have you ever considered working in the recruitment industry? And at the time, I really didn't understand what they did. And they explained, and I thought, well, that sounds like a commercial role to me with a very strong people element. And from there, I accepted working within the recruitment firm. And of course, I've been now in the industry for over 20 years. So I think the choice was a good one.
Darren Robinson, the last question is, how do you view the Finland nowadays? Is it a good place for marketing?
I think it's a great place. I think it's one of those countries that really it has been, let's say, the image of Finland has been underrepresented, I think, for some time. And I've been visiting Helsinki in particular for the last 2 to 3 years. And I think there's so much potential within the organizations. I think we have an opportunity to grow within Finland. And I'm looking forward to how large we can grow our business here. So we have a small team in Helsinki. We of course are part of a much larger parent company, the Adecco Group, and with their support and the footprint that we are having across the Europe in particular, is going to set ourselves apart, I think, on an international scale within Finland in particular, because we do have a lot of international companies, of course, that will be able to utilize our services across the region.
Darren Robinson from Badenoch and Clark, thank you very much and have a very, very nice time in the sunny Helsinki.